Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, cowboys, cowgirls, and outlaws. Today is very interesting for me because this is actually going to be my first attempt at podcasting. So for those of you guys who have been following me and really have been getting into the content, I want to let you guys know that I am actually starting a podcast, and this is the start of it. But it's going to be kind of a surprise to some people, not so much of a surprise to others. I wanted to go ahead and create an introductory episode of this podcast. And for those of you who have clicked on it, you'll notice that it's actually talking about the Second Amendment and certain things that have to do with that, whether it talks about our history or whether it talks about political issues or anything like that. And I just wanted to create an introductory episode so that I could kind of explain to my audience who is going to be watching this podcast why I wanted to do it. I think it's really important for you to understand from me as a content creator why I tried to do this and why I think it's important that it actually should be something that you guys have at your disposal. So, this is just going to be me talking for a little while, so I hope you guys like the conversation. Hopefully going forward, things will be a little bit more organized, but this is just an introduction, kind of impromptu. It's not really something that has a set real talking point, but I want to tell you why I wanted to do this. So, first off, why do I want to do a podcast? And the reason is, there are several reasons, but one of the number one reasons is I want to grow my channel. I think that is kind of something that every content creator really should embrace, is the fact that there is change. And I want to change with the times a little bit. I have the old, I have the stuff that is kind of trendy right now. So, I can kind of keep up with the crowd because, for those of you that don't know, there are some things that are really popular right now with YouTube. Shorts was one of those things that really came out that was really popular, and it kind of took off like wildfire. In fact, it's one of the reasons why I gained so many subscribers. Well, obviously that was a way to grow my channel. Podcasting is another way that I want to do it because I think it's going to be the next big thing, and I want to kind of jump on that, get ahead of it, and provide you guys with some entertainment. Let's just be honest. This is meant to be entertaining. I am an entertainer, as much as most content creators would not like to believe, but I mean, we are here for your entertainment, and I hope that I can provide further entertainment by diversifying my channel a little bit. Second reason is I believe in the Second Amendment. It is obvious that my channel has a lot to do with Second Amendment activities, and it is important to understand that I obviously could not do it without the Second Amendment, and I think it is therefore important for me to do a podcast about it because I think there's a lot of ignorance out there. I think there's a lot of education or knowledge that can be provided. And I just think that it's something that I want to share with you as an audience, and then maybe you can share this to other people within your friendship circle that may or may not necessarily believe the same things you do, but at least they learn another point of view from a different person. I also believe that knowledge is one of the best tools that someone can really pass on to you. You can teach someone how to do something, but if you actually give them the knowledge to perform in any type of endeavor, they are going to grow, and you will not have to teach them anything for long. They will have the know-how to do it on their own. So I think knowledge is one of those things that we have to embrace, we have to teach, or we have to pass on to one another, and I think that podcasting is a great way to start that. I think that I know that I pick up a lot of information from podcasts. I know that there are some controversial podcasters out there, but nonetheless, it is knowledge that may be based on their experience, and I'm no different. So I think this is something that is really important, and it is a way to spread knowledge for you. The other thing is I can no longer stay silent. I have been a huge proponent of staying out of the political spectrum for the sheer fact of just the controversy. I really grew tired of it very early on because I thought it was something that really was kind of below me. I thought that, the political spectrum was just for a lot of hate mail and a lot of just divisive stuff, and I really did not want to have a channel that was based on division. I wanted to have a channel that shared common ground with people that liked me, and if they found me and they wanted to follow me, by all means they could. Or, on the flip side, if you wanted to not follow me, at least you knew what my channel was about and you didn't have to subscribe. That's one of the beauties of YouTube, and that's why I stayed out of the political spectrum. But I can't stay silent any longer, and here is the reason why. I have, just through my time in having firearms and having this channel, for one, there's a lot of YouTubers and content creators out there who are in what you would call the gun tuber content creation, and more often than not, a lot of the gun tubers out there have something that have to do with the 2A, or the Second Amendment, for those of you that don't know. They have something to offer to the 2A community, at least when it comes to politics. Now, whether it be more for entertainment or more for knowledge, that's not for me to decide, but I will say that it is something that is kind of unavoidable as a gun tuber and a Western shootist content creator. I think that it is just something that I have to participate in. I believe that it is something that is worth getting involved in, and I think that it is something that will help make the community better if at least you hear my point of view, and if you at least hear my take on it. Of course, as I said, I'm not going to try and get super one-sided on this, but I am going to try to provide factual context. And for those of you who've been following me for a while, you'll know that a lot of my videos have to deal with research. They have to do with specific facts, and they are not solely based on opinion. And I think that's one of the reasons why I can't stay silent anymore. I'm tired of seeing the opinions fly off and be taken as fact. So I want to provide knowledge, and I know that because I have a lot of knowledge, I am obligated to not stay silent any longer. So that's another reason. I also believe in U.S. history, and I believe in the value of learning history itself. Obviously, the Constitution is historical. Obviously, the Second Amendment is historical, and there's something to be said about that. You can't move forward unless you know where you come from. So I think that it is important for me to share what I know of history, what I've read on history, strictly trying to stick with factual information and kind of going forward from there. Nonetheless, it is something that is important. I also want to do this because I want to invite differing opinions. Contrary to popular belief, people take negative opinions as being ultimately kind of just hate mail. On the contrary, actually, I welcome not negative opinions, but I welcome differing opinions on the subject because, one, it shows there are people that are interested in this type of content and want to learn something about it, and they're still willing to learn, even though they could go on their merry way. They don't have to necessarily watch this if they don't want to, but if they're offering their opinion, it obviously means they're interested and therefore are potentially open to a different point of view, and I think that is something that is worth of value. So with that being said, I may have a guest on here. I'm not sure yet if I will on my podcasts. I think starting out it's probably just going to be me because I want to make sure that we get this in an episodic historical narrative, and then from there we can start inviting differing opinions. But obviously, differing opinions are always welcome any point. So that is another reason. I also believe in freedom. I can't say that I have not been in a situation where I have been really lacking freedom per se, or at least freedom to the point where I thought I was being oppressed. But you know what? There's a lot of people out there that don't have these freedoms, or don't even have a Second Amendment, if you will. They don't have the right to bear arms, or they don't have the right to possess firearms, or if they do, it's extremely limited. And I think it's something that is worth sharing with other cultures. So, and I think the YouTube podcasting platform is a great way to do that. And I think that it is extremely important to share the value of freedom, because not so many people are that fortunate. And regardless of where you feel you are now, at least in the United States, when it comes to your freedoms, the fact is we are trying to be a liberty-loving people, and at least I am trying to be on my end, and I want to share that freedom that I do have with all of you. So, how am I qualified to really be a podcaster for you? And what can you look forward to with these episodes, and why should you even really listen to me? Well, first off, I'm educated. Education doesn't necessarily mean you're intelligent, but the fact is that I also have a lot of knowledge that I've gained throughout my life that I think is worth sharing. We always look to our elders to share their opinions and share their viewpoints, and the fact is that at any point in your life, you are always learning and you are always growing. It is important, I think, to share the information you have learned with other individuals, whether they take that advice or that information and use it or not. It is still something that is the human element in us moving forward. So I believe I am a well-rounded individual. I'm kind of a jack of all trades and master of none. I have a lot of life experiences in many different fields, from education itself, such as teaching people, to being a soldier, to being a rancher, to being a business owner. I've done quite a lot in my short time on this earth. I haven't stayed in one field. I think that it is important to be a well-rounded individual, and I think it is important to learn different types of skills, and that is why I have changed so much when it comes to different types of professions. So I think that if nothing else, you would learn the fact that being a jack of all trades, I have something to offer. That's why I say that. I would say I'm also extremely passionate. When I teach something, I'm passionate about it. If I weren't passionate about it, I wouldn't offer my opinion on it, nor offer my knowledge on it. So you should take comfort in the fact that I have passion in what we are about to talk about, and I think that you'll find that it is going to be very valuable to you, because maybe you share the same passion, or maybe you don't, and you would like to. I believe in... excuse me, I'm sorry. I am also I'm looking at my notes here, so to be completely honest. I am also a firearms enthusiast, so I think someone who has some knowledge on firearms should probably be talking about the Second Amendment. That doesn't mean that anybody who hasn't had firearms experience shouldn't be. It just means that I'm qualified to listen to, and take that for what you will. I am a competitive shooter, especially in the Western shooting sports, for those of you who have been following me. So it's just going to be an interesting ride, and I hope that you guys enjoy going forward. Thank you.